Okay, and now we're back with Dante. We're ready to talk about Junior B, CCHL 2, where I think the world's been topsy-turvy in the last week or so.
I've actually been very surprised with the way that things have gone in the CCHL Tier 2. You look at, obviously, the wildcard series were great between Westport and Athens. That game went down to Game 3. It's a three-game series in the wildcard. That's the way it works in Tier 2. And then you had Clarence and Winchester. And Clarence obviously had a better record than Winchester. They were 23-21, I believe, at the end of the season. The Winchester was under 500. Clarence took that series. So let's just start off with the first series that went down. The first series that went underway, Metcalfe and the Castleman Vikings. Castleman, 4-time champs in the last, they've won the league 4 years in a row or so on. Yeah. I believe it's 4 years now. And then you had Metcalfe. Everybody, all the teams that are being, wrote off. And I saw a tweet from the commissioner, Kevin Abrams, saying, like, we got a lot of upsets entertaining hockey in Junior B. And I said, yeah, you're right. And we would never expect Castleman to be down 3-2 in that series to the Metcalfe Jets. But, of course, I'm with the Ottawa West Golden Knights. And the Golden Knights started off the series 3-0. And now they're climbing back. They won last night, a big thriller, 3-1 the final score. But they actually lost 2 overtime games to the they lost so an overtime game in Game 2, an overtime game in Game 3. And they lost 2-1 in Game 1. And let me give you a quick stat on this in this series. The Beavers lead the series 3-2. The Golden Knights, last matchup against Clarence, they won 10-2 in the regular season. But in this series, the Golden Knights have thrown 180 shots on net. Miguel Daoust, the goaltender for the Beavers, is averaging 60 saves per outing. And they are averaging 15 to 20 shots per game.
Wow.
That's how lopsided the series has been. Oh. It's really been remarkable. And I was talking to Steve Sundin, the head coach and owner of the Ottawa West Golden Knights, and he said, hockey gods aren't on our side right now, and we just got to, do something to change that. But there's been, like Junior B, I'm not going to beat around the bush. There's been a lot of dirty play. There's been players taken off the ice due to injury, and there's been goalies being rammed. There's been fights. There's been snowing. There's been coaches fighting. There's been pretty much everything you would expect in a Junior B hockey game. And I mean, I'm not going to go into too much detail on what I've seen, but I will say that it's very entertaining. And Game 6 is Wednesday night in Clarence.
Okay. What about Athens Arrows, Richmond, and Perth Blue Wings?
Perth. Another one, I saw Perth play their last game of the season against the Arnprior Packers, or one of their last games in the season. And I was doing the awards for the CCHL Tier 2, and they had a guy named Adam Morden and Brendan Peacock, who were Defenseman of the Year for Morden and Goaltender of the Year for Peacock. He had a 2-some-odd goals against and a 920-something save percentage. But Perth had only 2 players this season that were a point a game. So they're a very defensive style team. They block a lot of shots. Their Defenseman of the Year, Adam Morden, had 22 goals. He was a point a game defenseman, real good offensive defenseman. Spent time with Canada last year, real good player. You would expect that going up against a team like Athens, they would outplay them defensively, but it hasn't happened so far. The Athens Arrows lead Perth 3-1 in that series. Perth is coming off a season where they won, I believe, 38 games. They had 79 points. They were 1 point behind Ottawa West for the league crown, if you could call it that, and they won their division. But going up against Athens, another upset, and one that I wouldn't surprise that Athens wins. They have some good players. Their top 3 players, I think Tate Lawson, and there's 2 others I would have to double check, lead the CCHL Tier 2 playoffs in scoring right now. So they're scoring in bunches. A lot of high-scoring games in that series. Perth is coming off a win on Sunday, and are looking to do that. Actually, they play tonight.
Okay, and now so that leaves one more series. Is that Richmond? I think Richmond's involved.
Yeah, Richmond and Arnprior. Yeah, that one's tied up at 2. I actually got to commentate the Packers because I help out with the Packers sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And I got to, on the oldie station. One of my colleagues is the play-by-play broadcaster, Ben Madigan, and so he asked me to come out. So I got to do Game 1, and the Packers just ran over the Richmond Royals, and there was actually a confrontation where Nick Bond, the goaltender for the Richmond Royals, actually took his net, and as there was a big fight in the corner, he took his net and shoved it up against the a few of the players that were fighting in the corner. Then he dropped the gloves and things got out of hand. And at the end of the day, that's the kind of playoffs has been in this year, in the whole CCHL Tier 2 playoffs. Now, the one thing I love about the Tier 2 and why I'm in the Tier 2 is because it's very entertaining, whereas Tier 2, it's, speed and very, good hockey. But this is very, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just all over the place. But it's a series tied up at 2 going into their next game on Wednesday night. And that's a tough series. Packers finished second. The Richmond Royals finished third. And as far as I'm concerned, just from watching both of them play, it could be anyone's. It really could be anyone's series. I was talking to the owner of the Packers, and he says, I've been here 5 years. I haven't made it past the first round, so maybe the luck's going to be on his side.
Okay. Well, listening to your description of both the CCHL2 and the Junior A League, it looks like we've got 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of exciting hockey ahead of us. And I just want to thank you very much, Dante, for giving up this time and being on our show and filling in the fans, because we don't often get an outside perspective here in Brockville. And then, of course, you are the Junior B expert. So I just want to thank you and appreciate. Oh, one thing I'd like you maybe to add. Can you tell us, you're currently a radio broadcast student at Algonquin. Anything in the future for you in terms of graduation?
Yeah, so right now, so I was broadcasting last season baseball. That's my passion. I love hockey. Hockey is really something that I want to get into as a career in terms of play-by-play, and I want to be able to say that I spent time in this league and I love the league so much. If I could do it again, I would come back next season, right? And so I started off broadcasting baseball last year with the Champions, and the Ottawa Champions won the league championship with, I don't know, but you probably know Michael Nellis.
Yes.
And he was a great guy to me. And then actually just recently I just got promoted, and I'm going to be moving to Toronto. So I'm not going to be here for all the CCHL playoffs. I'm moving in about 2 weeks to move to Toronto to work with the Toronto Blue Jays. And I look forward to that. And I mean, if I can come back next year and see what I could do in Junior A and Junior B with the Junior Sens or whatever it may be, I would be more than happy to do that. I'm only 19, so I got a lot of time under my belt.
Okay, well, I'm sure there'll be a few teams with open arms ready to welcome you back. And I just want to congratulate you on the 2 years that you've been here, and good luck in the future. And once again, thank you very much, Dante, for being with us tonight.
Hey, Whit, thanks so much. It was a real pleasure to join you. I love talking about the 2 leagues.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll cut her off there so I can nip it in the post-production. But thanks, Dante. I think that went pretty good, and I'll send you a link to when I'll upload this, but I won't share it with anyone else yet, and I'll let you take a look at it.
Oh yeah, are you going to post it on the Twitter or what?
I'll put it in my blog, and then I'll put a link in Twitter.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Is that on your Twitter or the Braves Twitter?
Mine.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much,
Tony.
Whit.
Alrighty, bye.
All right, cheers.